Overcast day today, so we're in greenhouse again, and we're going to be potting on some of these pepper plants because pepper plants need a really long season to actually provide you with any fruit. So the sooner we can get these growing, the better. So we're going to take them out of these and we're going to put them in some 9cm pots to encourage growth. But when you're doing peppers, don't ever jump from something like this to a big pot because they don't like it and you'll get no benefit from doing that. Just move it on to a pot this size. As I say, 9cm is perfectly fine. While we were looking at those peppers as well, we topped a chilli plant recently. Not too long ago, I think it was about 4 days ago, something like that. And if you look at this plant, you can see that that side shoot has got bigger. As I say, it's going to start putting all its energy into these side shoots now. So although it's not a huge amount at the moment, it's only been a short time and you can see that it's trying to grow. And if you look right at the very top, there's a little bit of something trying to come out there as well. So that's doing something, just for taking the top off. So we're going to get us 9cm, put a bit of compost in it. And then we'll take one of these out. We'll start with this tall one. Quite a few roots on that, as you can see. And it's also got 2 sets of true leaves on it. And you want to wait until it's got at least 2 sets before you move them. From tiny seedlings, you can move them when they've got 1 set. So I'll just make an hole in this pot, big enough to take that plug. And what I didn't do is I didn't compact this compost down. Not until I know exactly how big a hole I'm going to need. So we can get that in. Again, we want to really push this down. And try and keep it as central as we can. And then just fill in around the outside. And now you can make it a bit more compact. And then we've got our first little sweet bell pepper plant moved onto a tub, and it'll be staying in this for quite a while now, probably until it's about this height before we even think about moving it on. But also, if you've got any of these plants and they've grown quite tall, maybe because your area's been quite overcast, so they've not been getting as much light, therefore they're reaching or stretching for light, which is called going leggy, then you can actually bury this a little bit deeper if you want to. It's not like a tomato plant. Tomato plants have all the little hairs on the stems which, once buried in compost, do turn into roots. These don't have that, but you can still bury it down a little bit if you want to, and it won't hurt the plant. But that's only if your plants have gone quite tall and spindly. So we'll just get another one. And a bit of compost, and we're just putting it in loose as before, and then just wiping the excess off the top, then straight in, really deep hole, make it nice and big, because doing it this way we're not having to disturb those roots. They're going in as they've come out, but they're just gaining some extra room to grow. And we'll get this plant in and we'll push it right down like that. And then you can compact it a little bit more to give it a firmer base. It's quick, simple, and there you go. That's another one done. And at this stage, because they've now got a couple of sets of true leaves, you can give them a little bit of feed now, whereas you wouldn't have before when they was quite small, because by doing that you could have burnt the roots. But now they can have a bit of feed. But when you feed them, don't overdo it. Really water down your tomato feed. We'll just give them a little bit. And then they're good to go. Just waiting now for a bit of sun to encourage these to grow a bit more. And if you're doing peppers and chilies, they're very similar. So make sure you stick a label in them if you don't know what the difference is. And we've also got some tomato plants that we need to move on. They're in their own individual cells, but they're quite small cells. So they need, again, encouragement to grow bigger by putting them into a larger area. And when you take your tomato plants out, take them out by the leaves, not by the stem. You don't want to damage that stem because, as I was saying before, that is the part with all the little hairs on it that will turn into roots if you bury them. And this has got quite a few roots on it as well. Same procedure as with the peppers, but this time we're going to bury this plant. So we're going to go in and make a hole. The plug's not as big as the other one, so we're using something different this time. But if you look at it, you can see it's quite tall before it gets to the best bit of the plant, which is this part, the true leaves. So we can now bury this to make that stem thicken up and the plant stronger. So if we pop it in like this, we can then push it right down to where those first little leaves are. So we're burying about 1 inch of the stem by doing that. And then we can just fill in. And as I said, these hairs are going to turn to roots. So now we'll pack that down as well. And then we're going to fill in a bit more. And now you can see that plant looks better like that. It's not as tall. We've buried it about 1 inch. And now this stem is going to start to thicken up as it grows, and it's going to make it a lot stronger plant. So any tomato plants you get that seem a little tall, just do that with them and it's an instant fix. And then we'll pick another plant out. In the centre of your pot, push it down and then fill it in. You can also give these a little feed as well. So we've got that one in, and again, it looks a lot better. So it's pretty much an instant fix for these plants. And we know now that we've done this, they can stay in these pots until we're ready to plant them in ground, which I'm hoping is going to be sometime in next week or two when it starts to warm up a little bit. So if you do have peppers that have gone a bit tall, you can bury them a little. Don't completely bury them, but you can bury a bit of the stem just to make them a stronger plant. And your tomato plants are going to be a lot better plant altogether, because if you grow a tomato plant and it's stretched and you plant it, it's going to continue to be a long spindly plant, and that's going to affect the produce that you actually get from that plant. So do this first and you're all good to go. Anyway, thanks for watching that, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the support I've had from people only over the last 8 weeks. It really means a lot for me to make these videos and for you to get something from them at the same time. And if you want to see some more in future, just hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you on the next video. You all take care.